Good evening. My name is Phil Easter, historian and writer from Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Amazing Memory Man. We're recording tonight on Monday, May 5th, 2025. This is story number 73 on my YouTube channel, which is Phil Easter, the Amazing Memory Man. 3 days from now, on May 8th, it will be exactly 80 years to the day that VE Day was celebrated in Europe, indicating the end of the European part of World War II, May 8, 1945. The long war against Germany came to an end, and three major Allied powers, the United States and Great Britain and the Soviet Union, were very instrumental in bringing about the downfall of the Third Reich, and also with the help of many resistance fighters in a number of countries, especially France and other countries too, were also very helpful. But the three major armies were the United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union. On April 30th, 1945, with his Third Reich crumbling all around him, Adolf Hitler shot his wife and then shot himself, committed suicide, in his bunker 55 feet below the streets of Berlin. Some of his aides then took the bodies up to ground level and poured gasoline on them and burned them. They did not want the Russians to be able to capture the bodies of Hitler and his wife, especially Hitler himself. The Russian army was already in much of Berlin. It was street-to-street fighting for some time. Street-to-street, house-to-house, brutal fighting between the civilians and the Russian soldiers. And 1 week later, on May 7th, 1945, the German government officially announced it would surrender. For 1 week, the man who's considered the new Führer, technically speaking, was the highest-ranking admiral of the German Navy. Hitler named him to succeed him. So for technically 1 week, the highest-ranking admiral of the German Navy was the Führer of Germany. But he realized that it was senseless to continue fighting and ordered all German forces to surrender on May 7th, 1945. So the next day, May 8th, was celebrated Victory in Europe Day. There was great rejoicing in many parts of Europe, and in London and Paris, notably huge crowds gathered, and also in the United States and New York. But of course, the war against Japan was not yet over. So World War II still continued for about 3 more months until August in the Far East. The war against Japan lasted longer, but at least the war in Europe was over with the defeat of Germany, and officially celebrated May 8th, 1945. And many years, every year, some people note the VE Day, but I'm sure this year especially, 80 years exactly it will be. It should be noted in many countries, the United States and in many European countries. The final defeat of the Third Reich, the Reich that was to last 1,000 years, is what Hitler once boasted. It lasted barely 12, but still caused so much misery on millions of people. Many millions of people died, and especially notably in the concentration camps, an estimated 11 million people died, of which 6 million were Jewish people in particular. Hitler was trying to completely eliminate the Jewish race. And subsequent weeks and months after VE Day, Allied soldiers would see those horrible results of the concentration camps. So many skeletons, and the people they liberated who were still there were all in such horrible medical situations. And the next year, the Nuremberg trials took place, and many of the high-ranking Nazis were found guilty, and some were executed, and others went to prison for many years. And also, May 8th, 1945, the birthday of the new president, Harry Truman. You see, less than 1 month before, on April 12th, President Franklin Roosevelt died in Warm Springs, Georgia, at the age of 63, so Vice President Harry Truman became president. so he must have been very happy that his first birthday as president on May 8th that year, at least half of the World War II was over. VE Day, May 8th, 1945. This year, May 8th, 2025, will be exactly 80 years. This is Phil Easter, the Amazing Memory Man. As the great CBS reporter Edward R. Murrow said back in the 1950s when he finished his broadcast, good night and good luck.